Hey guys, what's up? It's the Mitchmeister here with not just a video but an original idea. Although I'm not the most intelligent, I try to keep it relevant so there's no need to be malevolent. If I slip up from time to time, I miss a line or rhyme, guys, it's not a crime. I'm not going to be crying if it's not sublime, but I'd be lying if I said I wasn't trying, so here's the outline. Fine, so it's just a standard gameplay, but not done in the same way. I'll talk to you about an event predominantly, but not like your standard commentary, but more in the style of poetry. Your support would be appreciated, but it's still voluntary, and if it's hated, I'm afraid at the end there's no apology. Okay, so just one note to trolls before I start. What I'm doing is not meant to be a work of art, but sent with the intent to entertain, not to blow your brain, and so it would be a shame if you invaded the comments section like a virtual infection, acting harder than an erection just because you felt the rejection of society, and you were never your mum's #1 priority. Retard, not Maynard, to stop the whining and shut your gums. I don't want to hear about your life in the slums. If you find it a bore, no need to scream and shout, just let the proverbial door hit you on the way out. To all those who didn't abandon, you have a healthy snout. Thank you, Landon, for that one being so random. Shit, I'm on a tangent. Okay, so I have a small confession. This tale that I tell may cause some depression. It's about a gambling session and a life lesson I'm yet to learn, though I yearn not to burn my money in turn. My mind is stern. It wants to take a risk and whisk me to riches and happiness. Although this tale is not fictitious, it borders on the ridiculous. Let's not be too meticulous on the introduction. After all, this isn't a full-length production, and after a while my lungs will burn and scream in turn for suction. It's just how they function. So we start our story in Arctic conditions. Not the best of rooms, it came with two decisions. The couch or the floor. Both felt like sleeping outdoors, and I woke up sore and chilled to the core into the sound of my friend's snore. We'd been out the night before and this was a consequence we simply had to endure. And after surviving the fight on the furniture against the temperature that might have this young adventurer, got to terms with my expenditure. To my surprise, as my cold eyes fixed on my wallet and focused, "You can quote this because I spoke this." "Shit, I actually have 40 quid still to my name," I exclaimed to my friend who claimed to spend the night colder than me but was on the mend. Words were returned miraculously, only to congratulate me sarcastically. A few hours later, and we're fully recovered. Memory's the only evidence of the cold we had suffered. We now had the day to stay and have fun. We decided to hit the casino and give our luck a run. If I ever saw Lady Luck, I'd probably choke her. She's often robbed me, so I normally stick to poker, where I can invest in a test and hope my skill in the thrill of a game doesn't put me to shame and I can be the best on the day that I play, and normally with poker I get my way. So with a start, we left for the place. At the back of my mouth, an alcoholic taste, gum in my mouth which acted like toothpaste. We set off at a pace like we were in a race. The winning's the only thing left to chase down. In moments we were in town, at the doors of the casino, which little did I know I would leave looking the colour of my friend's chinos. I'm not going to lie, it was a posh place, but we'd been early and it felt like an empty space. Flashing lights show games were all around, but no poker games as sadly were likely to be found. So a review I will give in this commentary. The drinks at the bar were complimentary, and the surrounding sound seemed so adventure-y, like we were entering a new century, how life is meant to be if you were a celebrity, but that's just how they prepare you mentally, because you'll likely pay for that drink eventually, and the machines lined up intentionally. Soon we found poker was not an option, so another game came up for adoption. In the end we chose roulette. Most of our encounters I'd rather forget. You see, the wheel itself is a thief, and a successful one at that. Rigged, it sits there pickpocketing you where you're sat. But we were set to bet and make our wallets fat. I was with someone who had always said they'd never gamble, but the power of peer pressure he simply couldn't handle, and soon he was in profit and attached to the machine that once he was so keen not to have seen in the first place. Addiction got to first base. And should I intervene? No, of course not. I didn't want to be critical, it would have just been hypocritical, and I was too busy to be analytical of someone else when I was submerged like a submarine, and if I emerged, purged of poverty in a state like I'd won the lottery, that was enough for me. I lost my first 20 and all us fools, but the one had lost plenty. I took a break to take a view of my friend make £50, beginner's luck seemed to be around, this is usual and didn't astound me. But the time watching him seemed to ground me, and as he found me looking, he asked for some advice. I told him to carry on, I didn't think twice. "Be a triple hero," I said to him, referring to the digits he would take if he were to win. See, this is why gambling's seen as a sin. It breeds greed, rashness, and tears you from within. After many spins without participating, my friend looked me in the eye, his heart palpitating. Me and him both knew we were done with waiting. We knew what he was going to do, he was just procrastinating, so slating him for his hesitation, every word seemed to hit with devastation. I don't know why it suddenly came to his head, but with a rush of madness, £50 red. We ran over and surrounded the live wheel, but this was where the casino had its chance to steal. He put on a brave face, but I knew how he'd feel. The paleness of his skin was so hard to conceal. I'm not gonna lie, I felt kind of responsible. I'd ordered in the bet like a chief constable, but there he sat with no money to his name, but I was undeterred, another 20 in the game. And I headed in the same way as before. Frustration set in, but then my luck seemed to soar. Humiliation and devastation left the situation, confirmation of my comfort zone, and this was my PlayStation. From the brink of defeat, I sat in my seat with a smile on my face. The taste of success now overpowered the gum at every button press. And the stress of the mess I had almost been in had left me. See, it's not like I'd meant it. In fact, it was kind of hard to prevent it. I landed in the same place as my friend who lost it. I had 50 in the machine and karma came back to bite. Everyone gathered round and knew they had the right to request an all-in. It was no longer my decision, no shit I thought as I remembered the vision of my friend pale-faced and broken-hearted, but I knew I'd be a cunt if I didn't finish what I started. Red or black was the only decision left. Casino had made its first incision for theft. I looked for clues on the screen for advice. The recent numbers would be the device I would use as the clues to help me not to lose. Never have I seen as many blacks in a row since I watched Watubo, an African TV show. So I sat in this casino, things going slow-mo. It was a low blow, but I was abandoned for the wheel, but I stayed as I feel. I had a devotion for the notion of staying within the bubbles of my emotion. Wheels still spinning, visions of winning. I saw my friends grin and suspicion beginning, as I heard a witch-like cackle and rib cages rattle with laughter. Disaster. I'm seeing red. But instead I want black, then snap, crackle and pop, my heart drops. Slowly my suspicions were confirmed. I left with no money, only a lesson I have learned. And I don't mean to be a preacher or a teacher on that note. I just thought I'd devote some time to tell you the story in a different way, so that maybe one day when you see the wheels spinning, you won't go in with the idea of ever winning. Anyways, I hope you found that alright. As always, thank you very much and good night.